Hello and welcome to Let Them Know. Today we have a guest from Manchester. She's going to tell us her name, where she came from and why she came. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Rose. Hi, my name's Ada Ayo. I'm from Kisumu, Kiboswa. That's our village. I'm currently residing in Manchester. Mm-hmm. Now, I came here because my brother was already here, so it was basically just to further education and to develop it more. Yes, that's why I came to sunny Manchester.
So it was nice for you because your brother was already here. So did you go through application of visas and apply to the nursing council?
No, because he was already working with the NHS, so we did all the applications, all the paperwork were done. Actually, we did them. I did part of them when I was in Kenya, but most of them he's the one who completed them over here. So when I came, I already knew which hospital I was going to go to, and everything was pretty much planned.
It was ready-made for you.
It was. That's the goodness of being a big brother, isn't it?
Of course. So and then you come?
So I came in the year 2000. It was February. One thing, he did warn me that it was going to be cold, but yes. Me being me and thinking, cold is just like, the cold in July. Yeah. I didn't realize how cold it was, so I just wore a simple kitenge. So it's a good job, he came to the airport and he had a winter coat for me and everything, because otherwise I would have frozen.
Big brother.
Yeah. yeah. So that's when you came. But it was, I must say, the first thing that hit me was the baridi, the cold.
Yeah. Was there any snow at the time?
No, there wasn't any snow, which was good, but it was wet. I remember it was a miserable day. It was raining, and I thought, just like that Kericho weather. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's how it was when I came. But I was so glad, to be here. I thought finally, because it was the first time I ever boarded the plane. So you can imagine.
Wow, international
flight. And I thought I was going to get lost, with the because I had to change flights. I think was it in Amsterdam. And I had never done that before, and I was all on my own. So I thought, wow. So it was a challenge, but it was good. I felt that I've achieved something,
Wonderful. So you come, you settle in, and then do you go to NHS or do you go to hospital straight away?
So yes, because he had done all the paperwork and everything, and also identified a hospital. So all I had to do was to let them know that I was here, and then arrange on a start date. So it didn't take that long. Yeah, so because I was working in a pediatric hospital when I left Kenya, so I came and I went into a pediatric hospital here in Manchester. Yeah.
Right. Of course, for you to work as a pediatric nurse in the UK, you've got to retrain again as a sick children's nurse.
Yes. Yeah, you have to.
Okay, so the adaptation process for you was quite flawless, kind of.
Well, in a way, yes, but then it was, because I did my adaptation, it was a small hospital, and I don't think that ever had an African come to that hospital for an adaptation. So basically they didn't know what to do. Wow. And the sad thing was, when I started, the person who was allocated, was my mentor, I was on annual leave. So the others who were there, they didn't know what to do with me. And the other thing, I didn't have a uniform, so I was going in my own clothes, so that I didn't feel like part of the team. And then the one thing I must say, having worked in Kenya, I was not used to any of their equipment over here. Yes. I couldn't even do even a simple temperature, because it's all different. So the nurses were like, that's very interesting. You say that you're a qualified nurse, you've been working for 8 or so years.
Yes.
And you don't even know how to take temperature and blood pressure. But it was the fact that I didn't know how to use the equipment. So the first couple of weeks was difficult because my mentor was not there. So basically, I'm just watching people, seeing what they're doing, and that is how I kind of like got to learn. When my mentor now came, at least I had seen what was going on, and at least she had the confidence to let me do a few things here and there.
Which makes a difference.
Yeah, it certainly does. Yeah, yeah.
So you didn't let that experience, kind of get into the way of your learning.
No, not really, because they didn't know what I knew, and so it was hard. But at least with my mentor, we sat down and we went through everything. Yeah, and then the other thing that also hit me was, the English. You think that you're speaking English, but the
Yes.
English is also different.
Yeah.
So communication was that was also a big thing. They were not understanding me at times. I was not understanding them. So that did take a bit of time.
You took so many pardon.
Yeah, I'm telling you, at times I was wondering, what is that English or is that what are you saying?
Interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. So it was nice. But all in all, when my mentor came and everything just went smoothly. The hospital was actually a distance from where, because I was living with my brother that particular time,
Right.
but I found a van, and there was a hospital van that was going straight there, and so I used to start my shifts. Instead of starting at 7 like the others, I used to start at 9.
Right.
And then finish at 5, which I thought was really, really kind of them. They're very, very accommodating, I must say. So at least I was able to use, the van to get there and back. Because there was a day I tried using the public means I got there at after 10.
Yeah, quite late.
It was quite late because I didn't know which bus to take, where to walk. So when I found that van, it was godsend. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So then you get on with your adaptation. How long did it take you before you registered with the Nursing Council?
So I finished my adaptation was about nearly 6 months, and then after that, because I came as an independent student, so I had to now apply for registration. So that took probably another 6 months or so. Well, less than 6 months. Yeah.
And of course you paid for it.
Yeah, I had to pay for it. Yeah. But that's where my big brother was very helpful, because he helped me complete the papers, what to send and things like that, and also with the fee. Yeah, so that was good.
Any other challenges, especially where you used to live in the neighborhood? You say in the hospital you were the only black girl at the time.
Yeah.
What about where you used to live?
Where I was living, it was okay, I must say, because I was living with my brother, and he's been there with his family for a while, so they were used to seeing black people around. So it was either I was not aware of what was going on, I was just concentrating with my life, but I think it was okay. It wasn't didn't have any incidences, and I think the people around, because the lady who was living next to us was also a nurse working at the hospital,
Right.
and knew my brother, so it was fine. It was fine. Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
The food was fine, I suppose, because you were living with your brother, so you were cooking your African food.
Yes, yeah. Because my brother was a typical Luo man.
Yes.
But one thing I remember he told me is that you do not buy meat from England.
Yes.
So because he used to travel to Ireland quite a bit,
yeah.
so we used to get the meat and the fish from Ireland. So while you were here, you were just eating chicken, because you're worried about this mad cow disease.
Right.
Yeah. So the food the food was good. It was
He was ahead of the game.
Yeah, he was ahead. Yeah, because he had been here. It's kind of like prepared everything. So I'll kind of like just following. The little sister behind.
Red carpet.
Yeah. Something
Okay.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Then Abby came.
Yes. Yeah.
Any challenges of bringing up a child on your own? in this part of the world?
Oh, that was that was a difficult time because I got a job, which was at a hospital, and my brother had to move because we're living in South. He had to move to the other side of Manchester because of schooling of his kids. So I was left basically on this other side of Manchester. So it was hard because I was not driving then, so the issue of going to move and live with my brother was going to be, it was a non-starter. Like I couldn't do that, so I had to look for an accommodation near the hospital, and with that I also had to look for a childminder, which it's something that I had never done before.
Yeah.
So, but my brother did help me to some extent. So just went through the council, and I did get somebody eventually. Yeah, but I remember when I went for the interview, because Abby had health worker. Yeah. One thing she told me, that make sure at the interview let them know that you're a single parent and how old your daughter is, and that you're going to be relying on childminders, so that you're not put on shifts. So request to work Monday to Fridays earlies if at all possible. Don't take a job that will have to do shifts. So that was one thing that I remember when I went for the interview. I mentioned and I told them I'm ready to work, even though, but it was interesting when I went for the interview because they said, I was trained as a general nurse. I came and I did my adaptation in a pediatric hospital. So, but I was registered as a general nurse and had worked with kids for a long time. So I remember the person who was interviewing me asked me, now you've worked with children all this time. Now you're coming to an orthopedic adult ward. Are you going to manage? And I said, you know what, at that time I had not worked for a year and I had my daughter, and I thought, you know what, I'm ready to work and I'm ready to learn. Yes. Yeah. So long as you give me the shifts, I'll be happy to do.
Very flexible.
Yeah, they were. I must say the manager was very, very flexible. But I think it was during that time that they were really, they didn't have that many nurses. So anybody who came was welcomed. Yeah. Yeah.
And of course, on the positives, you've never actually done a night shift either.
Oh yeah. That is one thing that I've not done. I've not done nights. Yeah, because I've worked at the same hospital for, gosh, I don't know how many years now. I think I'm part of the furniture. Even the porters at the hospital ask me, I meet them on the corridor, they ask me, you're still here? I'm like, yep, I'm still here. I'm here to stay.
I'm here to stay.
Yeah, but that is because, they've been very, very flexible with their shift and very, very understanding.
Right.
Yeah, so that's why I'm still there. That's why I've never done nights.
Good.
Yeah.
I remember in your conversation you did mention that you were not driving then. Are you driving now?
Oh yes, I am driving, but it took me a whole year to learn how to drive. It was because what happened, I had to do it. I had to take Abby to the minders. So when I started doing the driving lessons, I used to take her. I used to leave work, and then go for my lesson, which was not. After some time, I realized that it was not a good thing because number one, I was tired. Number two, there was so much traffic, so I could basically just drive around the estate, and the hour is over.
Yes.
And I've not done much, so I had to stop. And the other thing was, my instructor only used to work Monday to Friday, so I told him, you know what, we are not moving. It was like we were stuck, and then I could only do a lesson a week, so I had to stop for some time and then reevaluate. So that was when he agreed at least for me to have some lessons over the weekend. But that meant that I had to look for a minder for Abby, and getting a minder over the weekend is not easy. So I was doing a lesson here, there, whenever I could. So, but eventually, I managed to finish the lessons and go for my driving test. And I remember one thing I was just praying was that I passed. That was all that I wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Desperate to
I was
pass.
so desperate because you can imagine in the morning, because I used to start work at, well, just after 7. I did ask the manager if I could go a little later because of childcare issues. So I used to take a taxi, drop up here at the Minders, then make my way to work, and then in the evening leave work, jump onto a bus, go and collect Abby, jump onto a bus, back home. I'm saying by the time I was getting home I was tired, so I was desperate. And then Manchester, it's always raining.
Yes.
So the number of times that I was just drenched, because of commuting. So I was desperate.
Wow, and you
So
passed first time.
And I passed, yeah. God was on my side, I must say.
You're among the few.
I remember starting and I thought that I'd made a mistake. And I told the instructor, you know what, it's okay. I do have failed, let's just go back. And then she said, no, let's continue. That's, yeah.
Wonderful.
But yeah, I prayed and God was just on my side. I was ever so grateful. Yeah.
You must have been very determined.
I was because, dropping, going to the Minders 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Taking a taxi and the buses. So I was desperate, and yeah, I passed, and then I went and bought just a simple car. I used to call it a work of art because it was an old car. But my friend said, better you get an old car, so even if you hit somebody or you scrape it somewhere, it's it will be fine. Yeah. So
Wonderful. So now you've gone up the ladder a little bit with your car, suppose.
I think, yeah, I have, but it's still a small run around. I'm not, because my prayer was to get a car that I could use to drop Abdi at the Minder, get to work, go to church, and do my shopping.
Yeah.
So I'm not these people who would get onto the car, go on the motorway, and decide, whoa, I'm going to Scotland. I'm not that kind of a person.
You're getting around in a better way.
Yes, I am.
Wonderful. So Ada, let's come to COVID-19.
COVID-19, yeah.
Well, statistics are showing that Black, Asian, and minority ethnics are affected more than anybody else. Tell us your experience.
I remember I was even asked this by one of my colleagues because when the COVID started at our hospital, they had to create more ICU beds.
Right.
So we had like half a day's training, and then thereafter, bang, ICU. So the patient that I saw, my first patient was actually a Black lady. Yeah. And the second day, it was also another Black lady. And they were both nurses, both from Africa. And for me, I found that it was a bit of a mixture. Yeah, there were the Black, there were the Asians, and there were the whites as well. Yeah. So for me, it was a mixture of all races. But saying that again, it depends with where you live. But that was the shock was that I saw people who were even younger than me, African nurses in ICU, it was hard. Did
you lose any of them?
At least the Black nurses, no. But yes, we did lose quite a number of patients.
It's been quite a sad moment.
It was. I mean, I don't know how I can explain it, because I, for one, have never worked in ICU. I've never worked, no experience. So going there, being told that you're going to work in ICU, I remember it was a whole week. I was told like on a Friday, you're going there on a Monday. That weekend I couldn't even sleep. I was thinking, whoa, what am I going to do in ICU? And that's where the COVID is. Am I going to get it? So the anxiety levels were high. Really, really high. I didn't sleep. But when I went there, I met other nurses who had also not worked in ICU, who had, let's say, like been theatre nurses for 20 years, outpatients. So they didn't have the experience. So we all went together, and I think that was the thing that really helped. But I can't describe the emotions over there. You're physically, mentally drained. It was sad. It was really, really just watching those patients, taking care of them, knowing that they might not be there tomorrow, and relatives not being allowed to come in. People just left off. It was hard, and it was also hard for the nurses as well, because the ICU nurses were not used to it. So it was hard, but there were some good moments as well.
Yeah.
Of course, when the patients, I remember there's this lady I took care of, and she was really, really poorly. In fact, I thought she was going. And then 2 days later, you go and she sat up and she's chatting, and you're like, wow, that's why we were there. Now, you ask yourself why we were there, because of that. And when she was, because the relatives were not allowed to come, they were using Skype. So seeing people in ICU talking to their relatives and the relatives of the other side, it was good. It was really good.
Made a difference.
It really made a difference, and it makes you realize that what family is really, really important. Your work colleagues, your friends are there, but these people, the minute they woke up, all they want, the minute they were able to to do anything, they're like, oh, I've got to call my family, I've got to find out how they are, I've got to let them know that I'm better. So it just goes to show how family is important. And at that particular time as well, because we were having, in ICU there were consultants who were patients, and it goes to show that it doesn't matter who you are.
Yeah.
This thing was affecting anybody.
Indiscriminate.
Yeah.
Right.
It was, yeah.
Well, viewers, that's quite an intense story. When we come back, we'll take a short break, and then we'll let you know how that has changed Ada's view to life. Okay, so Ada, when we went on break, we were talking about your experiences with COVID-19.
Mm-hmm.
How has that changed your view to life and your future plans?
Well, my view to life, it mainly just showed that family is really, really important. Yeah. It doesn't matter who you are, where you are, what you're doing, but family is the key thing. And how that has affected my plans, I think I've always, I came here to study, and to work, and I think that's what I'm doing at the moment. Well, nearly, I've done it, so there's just a small bit that is left. But I've always wanted to go back home, go back to that small village, Kiboswa. So that is still my plan, to go back to be with your family, with your people, because that is what counts at the end of the day. Yeah. So that's what I'm also trying to get my daughter into, going back home.
Convince her.
Yeah. I'm telling you, it's not easy, but yeah, that's what we are. That's what my plans are, to go back home and to try and develop that small village of ours. Yeah.
And the whole Kenya in general.
Well, yeah. When you look at it at that point of view, it's all of Kenya.
Yeah.
But me, I'm a very staunch Luo, and I believe that charity starts at home. So you start small at home, kidogo at home, and then hopefully spread out.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so those are my plans. Yeah.
If Abby was listening today, what would you tell her?
I'll tell her not to forget home. Home is where you come from, because I've known, and I've got some relatives who have come over here, and it's like our grandma and our relatives back home do not exist. They just think that, well, they are just there, and they've got their friends over here, and they think that is it. But I always tell Abby, you have to remember your grandma, you have to remember your relatives back home, because that's where you come from. You may have your friends over here who are always, they're always there for you, but at the end of it, it is your relatives back home that really count. Because I've seen that myself. Yeah. Those are the people who will remember you, those are the people who will do anything for you, irrespective.
Good. So, Abby, I hope you're hearing that. What about any other person who is trying to come to the UK either to study or to work?
Well, I'll encourage them. Yeah, it's hard work, because I remember when I was told that you got to stay, you come to Manchester, jobs are there, everything is nearby, you'll be able to work, but it's not like that. You have to be prepared to work hard. You have to be prepared to have low days, because it's not every day that's going to be a good day. There are times that you just shut down, because of the color of your skin and things like that. Yeah, and people look down upon you. Because I remember when I first started, the first ward that I worked in, because that was, I was learning and things like that. I remember at the end of it all, the manager, when she was leaving, she was like, you know what? I never thought you were going to survive. I never thought you would learn. Because, she had such a low opinion of, people from Africa. I remember there was once I was going to Kenya, and one of my workmates asked me, "Oh, so you're going to Kenya? How are you even going to get there?" I said, by plane. I said, really? And do you have houses? I said, and then I decided, just to say, they said, no, they don't have houses. Live on a tree, just like the monkeys.
Because what is portrayed on television is quite different from what they experience on the, on the ground when they go there.
Yeah. So you're going to meet people who probably don't know much about Africa, much about your culture, much about, so you have to be prepared for that. Some of them is that it's the fact that they're just not aware. So don't expect everybody to know you, to know your culture, to understand you. So you also have to educate them as well. So it can be difficult at times, but if you work hard, you pray, because I know that's one thing that me and Abby have been doing, because at times you reach a point whereby you're thinking, gosh, what am I going to do? How do I do this? But one thing is praying and believing God, and believe that He's going to be by your side no matter what. Because the days that, I never thought I was even going to, like taking care of Abby, being a single parent, working, people are telling me there is absolutely no way you'll be able to do that. No, it has never happened. It will never happen. As a nurse, no. But I've done it.
And to be honest, it's quite difficult, but you've done a brilliant job.
Thank you. But I must say, it's prayer. Friends are also very, very important, because, you'll come here, you think, oh, this is a Kenyan just like me, a little lady just like me. But some of them are there. Some of them are there to support you. But some of them are just there. They're there to see what they can get from your relationship.
Yeah.
And some are actually they're after your downfall. So you have to be very, 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 very careful. Yeah. Who your friends are, and what you tell, what you discuss, and things like that.
Yeah.
Which can be a challenge. So that's why I just go back and say, pray, trust in God, and He'll open up ways for you.
Amen. Yeah. So we've come to the end of the show. Thank you so much for listening.